actually need you. I need you to procreate. Yes, I agree. I don't need you in my day-to-day life. Why do you need a man in a relationship?
If the lights went out tomorrow, you would need someone to protect you.
Society, not my boyfriend. Half of my exes can't even do anything.
A lot of men can't do much.
You can't blame all men for your poor choices. Why would you go and choose a man that can't do these things that you wanted them to do? Speak for yourself.
I asked the kids, what would happen if somebody dropped sugar in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be okay. I said, what if somebody dropped strychnine in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 1. Life is both sugar and strychnine. You gotta be careful. I said, what if my worst enemy drops in the sugar? They said, will you be okay? I said, what if my best friend, even by accident, drops in the strychnine? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 2, watch your coffee. You gotta be careful. See, it doesn't matter who hands you the bad stuff. It doesn't matter where you get the bad stuff. It'll still do its damage on your bank account. Wherever you get it.
There's an expression that I've said on this podcast many times, but I'll say it again, is that hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times.
Yeah.
We're in the time of toxic masculinity, right? Where you could be toxically male. If you're suppressing masculinity, you're going to bring on hard times.
Love is not a feeling. When watching too many movies, I feel something. That's not love. Because let me tell you, love is what you do in spite of what you feel. Love is fighting for the good of someone else, even if they never see the value or the sacrifice that you did to get love to them. Love is what Jesus did on that cross, and love didn't feel good. No, that's love, but love sometimes hurt.
How come you ain't never liked me? What law is there say I got to like you? None. All right then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day? Yes, sir. You eat every day. Yes, sir. Got a roof over your head. Yes, sir. Got clothes on your back. Yes, sir. Why you think that is? Because of you. Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is? Because you like me? Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. I ain't got to like you. Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you.
The biggest question I get is, so when do you rest? When do you recover? And I don't want to scare people, but the truth answer is, I don't take any days off.
No days.
No days.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Well, what is a normal day?
So let's say a light day.
Light day.
Light day is at least a 7-mile run, calisthenics plus gym workout. So I will do weights with calisthenics, and every single night I stretch.
A friend of mine sent me this text a long time ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. It's 50 points, and it's advice from an 80-year-old. Choose your life's mate carefully. From this one decision will come 90% of all your happiness or misery. Never deprive someone of hope. It might be all that they have. Never waste an opportunity to tell someone you love them. Remember that 80% of the success in any job is based on your ability to deal with people. And lastly, don't expect life to be fair.
I don't like being too comfortable. Once you get used to it, it's hard to give up. I'd rather stay hungry.
Like one of the most difficult choices I have ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had $30 or $40 million left in 2008. I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, then both might die. You know, when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. So it's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death? I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the two. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through.
One of the things that I was really impressed by when I started looking into you after my daughter introduced me is that you invest so much money into the show.
All the money I make. I don't. Why do I need money?
So you don't like go crazy? You don't have a Ferrari or anything nuts?
No. I think living your life chasing like a nicer and nicer car and a bigger and bigger box to live in is kind of like a dumb way to go about life. Nope. I really try not to. I think that's like just a bad way to go about life.
I don't believe in myself no more. Don't you understand? The truth is I don't want to lose what I got.
What do we have that can't be replaced? What?
a house, we got cars, we've got money. We got everything but the truth. What's the truth, damn it?
I'm afraid, all right? You want to break me down? All right, I'm afraid. For the first time in my life, I'm afraid.
You were a champion, and you did what you were expected to do. And you did what I and everybody else thought you should do. Get rid of it, because it's going to bother you for the rest of your life. Look what it's doing to you now.
And if I lose?
At least you lose with no excuses, no fear.
How'd you get so tough?
I live with a fighter.
You know, you have a hamstring injury, you can barely walk. Doctor tells you go home, rest your hammy. All of a sudden, a fire breaks out in the home. Your kids are upstairs, shit's going down. I'm willing to bet that you're going to forget about your hamstring, you're going to sprint upstairs, you're going to grab your kids, you'll make sure your wife's good, you're getting out of that house. The lives of your family are more important than the injury of your hamstring.
This is how I want my scientists to look. If you're invested in Tesla and you see that, you're like, oh, we going to the Mars. We guarantee going to Mars. If you see him looking like Jeff Bezos, because Jeff Bezos is brolic as fuck, tan as fuck.
Jeff Bezos looks good.
But I know you're not working. I know that Amazon is in someone else's hands. With Tesla, we're invested in Elon.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker is working.
Part of the reason that women like men who have some capacity for aggression, but who are still productive and reciprocal, is that men who are productive and reciprocal, who have some capacity for aggression, can keep the real monsters at bay. So it's hard on women, because they have to navigate that really thin line between productive generosity and the capacity for aggression. That's a really tough thing to navigate.
In return for your help, I offer something priceless. My freedom. Freedom can be taken away. As you well know, I offer knowledge. Everything I have learned. I will teach you economics, mathematics, philosophy, science. To read and write? Of course. When do we start?
In what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labour.
A very tiny proportion of men, and a huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected are men. Most people in prison are men. Most people who are on the street are men. Most victims of violent crime are men. Most people who commit suicide are men. Most people who die in wars are men. People who do worse in school are men. Where's the dominance here precisely? What you're doing is you're taking a tiny substrata of hyper-successful men and using that to represent the entire structure of Western society.
You have to learn to select your thoughts the same way that you select your clothes every day. Now that's a power that you can cultivate. If you want to come here and you want to control your life so bad, work on the mind. And that's the only thing you should be trying to control. Because if you can't master your thoughts, you're in trouble forever.
I ask the kids, how long should a baby try to learn how to walk? Before you say, hey, enough's enough. Any mother in the world would say, you're crazy. My baby is going to keep trying what? Until, what a magic word. Promise yourself you'll read the books until your skills change. You'll go to seminars until you get a handle on it. You'll listen to it until it makes sense. You'll go for it until you understand it. You'll practice it until you develop the skill. Never give up until, however long that is.